Hello, everybody. And ooh, it's dark in here. Hold on, let's turn this. Let's get some light on.
Gotta see that pretty cachet face.
All right, there we go. Get some photography lighting going on over here. Oh no, it's still dark as all get out. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Apparently, my face is gonna be dark today. That's about as good as you know what. Let's try it this way. Let's try moving that. There we
There we
go.
go.
No, that works great. Hi, everybody. Hello. So today we're doing things a little bit differently. Normally we do crochet chit chat. Today we are going to host a coloring contest. So if you are not following me on social media, please follow me at 50SO Shay. I'm going to put that up on the screen. Give me just a second.
Oh, we got all the nice people here today. Like creeping in.
All right. I know, right? So yeah, so follow me on social media at that so that I can see your pictures. For those who want to enter in the contest, the instructions are in the description box below. So let's get up and say hello to everybody. And Carol was first. Yay! Spence was second, and Jeannie came in third. Stevie is here and super excited. And whoa,
Oh, my bad. My bad. I was trying to look at the camera.
wait a second, what did I do? Stevie is here and she's super excited and wants to know what everyone's coloring. Spence is going to be working on a poster size map she made for her D&D campaign. She decided to color it instead of paint it, and my life is regret now. Jeannie says, I already have a ton of colored pencils and art supplies from over the decades, sitting this one out but cheering everyone on. Devin is here with the howdy. What do we always say? It's not a stream without Devin.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I am technically with Jeannie on the contest though. I'm a hardcore Crayola fangirl and I have too many to get more. No worries. No worries. Jeannie will be working on her urban fantasy instead, finally getting somewhere with the final act. That's awesome. We got Shanita here with the most beautiful avatar. You know, I'm just like a fangirling over your avatar. Jocelyn made it in time. Hi, Jocelyn. So glad you're here. Jocelyn has the HP Lovecraft coloring book that I want to see pictures of. I just have so many questions. Jeannie says she's going to watch AuthorTube News after this. Everyone, if you don't know, AuthorTube News is a podcast that Tamara Woods and Carol Brown both host that happens, like twice a month? Isn't that right?
When we try to do it like every other week, but it kind of depends on what's going on. So
hear what's going on in the world. And this time they're talking about book outlet versus Black booktubers, publishing pay me, and internet something. What's the other name? Internet archive something.
Yeah, Internet Archive. It basically has to do with like this website that was taking people's books and hosting them up for free without giving any royalties to publishers or authors. So.
Oh wow! See, so hey, I haven't heard it all. I just seen the little thumbnail, and I got it to watch later on today. So y'all check that out. We got Miss Barbara in the house. Spence said I lied. I'm not coloring. I'm home care mode today.
You got this.
Sarah's here. Hi, Sarah. And Carol, in the comments, can you put up a link for AuthorTube News? I think I made you a mod. Let me know if I haven't. I think I have, though.
Okay, hold on. I was not ready.
No problem. Somebody just asked. I'm so glad we are coloring today. I am. Hi, Morgan. Hello. How are you today? I watched your video, your pastiche to I to America. I thought that was good. Awesome. Yeah, everyone see what Carol's coloring. I'm excited to see how it turns out. Sarah says, I'm not coloring today. I'm going to work on this video. Plus my carpal tunnel haze color. Oh, no.
No, carpal tunnel is the worst.
Painting is definitely acceptable. Hey, Tamara. Hey. It is bomb and happens semi-regularly. Right. I'm trying to make sure I let y'all know. Okay, so I don't know if y'all saw the thumbnail. Y'all know I got like a Lisa Frank coloring and activity pad. And I'll put this up real quick so we'll see what on the screen real quick. So I'm gonna color this turtle, and he gonna be rainbow colored and all some other stuff. So yeah, it's about to go down coloring wise. It's about to go
down. That's my favorite GIF.
It's about to go down. I write a nostalgic turtle, like seriously. Also, this is the first time I've ever colored in the house with Titan on the floor with me, so this shall be interesting. Oh, and Tamara put the link in the chat. Thank you, Tamara. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You're great.
Oh, my link didn't go through. That's really weird. Okay.
Did it not go through? Are you're not a mod?
Let me see. Hold on. French. Hold on. Oh no, I'm not. You teased me. Okay. You were like, you a mod. I'm like, what?
I got you.
I didn't even check it out. I was just like, put the link in there, and then I looked away.
Yeah, I thought you were a mod. That's so weird. Okay, hold on. Let's get there. Let's make that change real quick. And there we go.
Yay.
All right, and Carol, and add moderator, and there you go.
Aha.
All right. There we go. Yep, they are. As an ode to Self-Care Sunday, I'm going to be better and actually feed myself. That's awesome. Magic Garden coloring book with my limited color pencil supply and artistically challenged stuff. I can't wait to see it. Jay says, who you calling a ranch? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, did I not put the link in? Okay, I'm gonna make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay.
Oh, that's a good one, Stevie. I love that one.
I need enough money to pay someone to cut. Yes, I'm with you on that. I printed a coloring page of Van Gogh sunflowers. Okay, me and Stevie had like a long conversation about everything yesterday, and sunflowers came up, and it was amazing. Barbara says my dogs are snoring. Yep, nope, my dogs are not doing that. No, are you, Cleo? You're not snoring. Snoring? Who snores?
Very active in your care.
Who snores? Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. Okay, not in my mouth. Yeah, we don't do that. Sit down. I actually have a coloring book I bought like 30 years ago. It's Mythical Monsters. It was self-published. Got it at a craft fair. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, it's your 10 kitty's birthday. Happy birthday, Cricket.
Aww.
It was amazing, wasn't it, Stevie? I had fun. Okay, I'm gonna get to coloring. So let's get some coloring happening. I'm not coloring, but I am world building and making lunch. Hey, that is self-care. Feeding yourself is self-care. Do not starve yourself, writers.
I ate before I showed up.
Eat, drink water, stretch, exercise, take deep breaths, all that jazz.
I knew somebody was going to start talking about food, so I was like, I'm going to eat before we go on.
Yeah, I ate cereal this morning, but I probably should have ate something else. But, you know, I'll eat after this, and it'll be fine, and I'll live and not die.
You'll be fine.
Right, of course.
We used to do this all the time when I worked at a charter school. Because I worked at a charter school for children with disabilities that had needs that were more than the public school could handle. And so I'd have all the kids show up, and we would repeat the school pledge to basically be nice and like not bite each other, which sounds funny and when I say it, but that was an actual concern we had. And then right after that, we would just like color for like 30 minutes before we'd start with lessons.
That's cool. Yeah, I've always been a big fan of coloring. I've been a fan of coloring therapy. I always recommend it to people. So I didn't realize how loud my TV was. Let me turn it down. I can hear you in the living room.
I'm about to say, I can hear me. This is
Yeah.
exciting.
It's exciting.
Do.
Okay, I didn't make sure I didn't miss any comments. All right. I'm tight. I feel like you're over there investigating stuff. You don't got no business now.
He got questions.
You got questions? Just don't knock over the laptop. Good boy. Come on. There you go. Good boy. No, just because I called him a good boy don't mean you come over here, Cleo.
That's not how it works in dog.
I know, right? At all. If you show one of them love, the other one is like, nope, me too, me too, me too, me too.
There are pets happening. I want them.
Right. Let's see. Okay, so this is orange. She's my cherry pie. I don't know why that just popped into my head.
This is a great song. Oh, poor Dana.
Somebody knocking at my door. Hold on.
No, it's okay, guys. You don't have to bark too. This is what it's like to have dogs, y'all. They all bark for no reason. If I turn this down, they wouldn't bark. How are you guys doing today? Yeah, that's literally what my dogs are doing, Barbara. They ran outside to go find Cachet's dogs. So who knows when they're
there's
gonna come
nobody
back.
out there. So I don't know what they barking at, but they heard something and they're trying to protect me from it. So, yeah. Hey,
you will not pass.
Dogs. Yep, and my dogs are looking for an invisible person. So they all looking for stuff they not gonna find. That is crazy, Jace. That of all the coloring books you found, that's what you found. Okay, so now let me get on this rainbow of a turtle shell I'm creating.
Like, I really liked this picture when I saw it, but then when I was like looking at it before we went live, I was like, there are so many lines here. Like, I don't know
Oh no, there's
where.
a lot of lines. I saw that too, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be interesting to watch her color.
Yeah. Trying to sit here and find all the shapes in here. I normally don't color, and one of my artistic friends was kind of like, hey, if you want to up your art game, you need to start coloring. And I was like, oh, and he was like, too effing bad, go do it anyway. And I was like,
I don't want to hear your whining.
He's a good sort, though.
That's awesome. Hey, if y'all don't be quiet.
Looks like
I love y'all. Ready for a low-key day after yesterday's adventures. Yeah, I saw that you guys were out making moves yesterday.
Let's see. Antlers. Everybody's always Everybody getting the hustle done lately. Have you seen how busy everybody's been?
What are you saying? I'm sorry.
I said everybody's been super productive this week. I don't know if you've seen it. Like they're all just getting stuff done. It feels like
Oh,
it's almost Camp Nano, but it's not Camp Nano yet.
right. Like I'm interested to see how camp goes with how productive everybody's being in June. There's Dana.
Hi Dana, how are you?
When you texted me, I was like, did I do
Late
something
again.
wrong? What did I do?
You're not late. You're fashionably on time.
Right.
I appreciate that. Oh, man.
No, you can't eat my color pencil. You can't.
So what were you saying? People have been super productive this week.
Yeah, cause like
Yeah.
I've been checking on people and watching them, and they're like knocking out word counts, and they're just getting stuff done. Like they're all hustling like real fast, and it's not even Camp Nano. So I'm big salute to that.
Right. Well, they got all these fun projects that are being done. We got anthologies coming out the wazoo now, so there's lots of writing needs to be done.
This is very true. Yeah, my peacock has revealed himself to be a man, and now he's yelling at her for yelling at him turning into a man before her eyes. So
Aw.
yeah, he's talking to her about her manners, and she's very upset.
You know, I get pretty upset too when people try to school me in manners because I'm like, look, this is my style of manners. You got your style of manners.
Just need you to take it easy, friend. Take it easy.
Take a deep breath, accept me for who I
Jocelyn
am,
wants to
and
know
we'll
if
move
everyone
on.
doing camp next month.
I am gonna do camp because there's a book I want to come out next year. So I'm just going to finish the first draft next month, and progress forward with that.
I am doing the same thing with the novel that I started during camp, during actual NaNoWriMo last year. Because I like to work on a different novel during Nano this year, but I need to finish one that I started.
That is absolutely fair. I went
Um,
to so like writing wife when she asked me to do Camp Nano, and she's like, and we're gonna go and do the write-ins, and I was like, so we're gonna have like a condition to that. And she's like, okay, it's like I'm only going to the sit-ins that you go to. So if you don't go, I'm not going. And so
Oh, so that means you gotta actually go to some.
yeah, so and that kind of like she kind of made a face at me, and I was like, you know why I'm saying that? She's like, I know. So I think we went to like maybe two, and then after that, like things just started to explode at work for her and for me, and we were like, well, we'll just write online.
Right.
But yeah, I was kind of happy I put that caveat in there.
So Spence says, give me some of that hustle. I feel like I'm moving through sand. Jay says the quarantine with firefighters anthology. So it's just quarantined with, right?
Yeah, it's just quarantine with the joke was about fireflies because we were teasing naked firefly about it. But you can make it
And
quarantined with anything. Like I'm doing quarantined with a leprechaun.
mine is quarantined with a peacock right now, tentatively. um, and then we started talking about on Thursday doing a disability anthology section or series where people write the main characters have some sort of disability just to highlight those characters. So that's the other
Yeah.
one we talked
Yeah, I'm super excited
about.
about that one.
And my character is deaf, and her service dog is a shapeshifter. So
Oh, that's cute. I love that.
so all my like anthology stories take place in the same little fantasy world. So I'm having fun building that.
that's really cool. So your service animal can basically turn into anything that your person needs them to be in that moment
Well,
that
so
they need them.
I'm trying to come up with the rules for shifting Because I don't want the rules to be that they can shift into any animal. I want it to be that they have to choose an animal and stick with it. But I haven't come up with how all those rules will work itself out yet. I'm still trying to figure it out.
You're
I've
world
never
building.
read before, so this we shall see how this goes.
Sounds like it's gonna go.
But keep asking me questions because it'll give me stuff to think about.
I know shapeshifters are like a big part of lore all across the world, from like actually physically shapeshifting to like spiritually shapeshifting to metaphysically shapeshifting. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I probably read more on that topic than I really need to, and I never ever used that research for anything that I've written. It was just like, yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna be picking your brain then.
Yeah. I know like a lot of the shapeshifters in like Native American mythology were usually like the shamans or the holy people in their tribes. But it wasn't like, it's not in the sense that we think of it with like werewolves and stuff. It's like that's where the spiritual part of it comes in. At least that's what I read from the text that I gathered on it that I have in my office space.
That is interesting. That is a different take to think about it than what I had.
Yeah.
See, Johnson says, right? I was like, people were being productive last week. I want some of that. I think my July camp is literally just going to be notes for draft 2, the rate I'm going. I wanted to write draft 2 during July, but I don't think I'm going to get there. You will, Spence, you will.
You'll be fine, Spence.
Speaking of Cash It Disability Stream, Miss Dana offered the sensitivity read also, raising my hand to ask Dana for your feedback on my first chapter, please. No pressure.
That's yeah. Here, I'll put my email address that you can.
Okay, let me make sure you're at my too, because apparently Carol wasn't in, so let's make sure. Post the comment so I can make sure you're a moderator.
It was just a surprise.
Jay says, reminds me that I still need to write werewolf is my pronoun. You do still need to write that.
Sarah says hi. Hello, good morning, Sarah. I hope
Morning, Sarah.
A wonderful birthday weekend.
Yeah.
Yes. How was your birthday weekend? Do tell us.
All right, there you go, Barbara. It is in the chat, so you can.
Oh, yeah, you had it right. There you go.
Yep, send me your first chapter, and I will get it done.
I know when I was doing my special education degree, we had to go to a lot of seminars where we talked about like the different communities. I mostly went to all the ones for people who were diagnosed with autism because that's where my specialty for my bachelor's was at the time. And it's always really interesting to speak to those families because you've got the camp of people who are noun first, and you've got the others who are we don't care. And they usually end up bickering at some point during like their get-togethers.
I don't know where I would fit in that. I typically, because autistic children are so very different, I found that a lot of times the parents that I meet want me to like tell them the magic spell that I use to get my autistic child to where he is at right now. And I'm like, hard work. There it is there. And they're like, no. What
how do you really do it? Like, don't what's the secret pill? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And so I really have found myself kind of distancing from a lot of autistic parents that I meet just because I'm like, I don't have the cure. And when I tell them, I'll be like, well, it was a lot of hard work, a lot of prayer, a lot of faith. They're like, no, seriously, what did you do? Who's your pediatrician? who's your specialist? Who's
What
your
vitamins did you give them? Yeah.
yeah? And I'm like, nope, nope, nope. Hard work and faith. Hard work
I'm
and faith.
telling you, but you're not listening to me.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I personally am kind of hesitant about the groups.
Yeah, I have one kid that I worked with, and he's like, you can just say I'm an autistic person because that's what I am. And I was like, I would love to, but all of the typical people are gonna come after me, and it doesn't matter if you tell me if it's okay or not because they like to govern how other people need to like refer to each other. And he's like, well, that's dumb. And I was like, I agree.
Yeah.
Good talk.
You sound wise, kid.
Yeah. Well, like Elijah, he's like, well, he'll tell people I am autistic, but I'm just a man. I'm a good man, and that's how he wants to be known. He's just a man. He's no different than anybody else. He just happens to have autism, and people have a hard time understanding that he is not autism.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, that's the one thing I noticed is that not everybody can separate the disorder from the person. And from where I could see my students, that was always like the hardest part for them. Like they really hated that. And even if you find like the highly functioning ones, they say the exact same thing. It's like, I am not my disorder. I am still a person. I still want to date. I still want to get married, and I still want to have kids. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, Elijah doesn't want to get that. but and like for a little while, I was kind of troubled by it. I was like, well, why wouldn't you want these things? And then I had to remember that physically, chronologically, he is 19, but in his mind, he is still like an adolescent. He's still 16 and learning to drive, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So even as his parent who's been dealing with this since birth, I have to remember as well that, okay, he says this now, but in a few years, he might change his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's fine because in a few years...
Not to turn this into like your disability powwow from the other day.
You guys are fine. You guys are fine. I just want to, the Naked Firefly is here. So is Dow. Dow says she's stream hopping because Sako is doing a BLM discussion. That's awesome. Glad she's doing that. Lauren from Divided by Sight is here. She was also in that disability stream. She was awesome.
She's super cool.
Jocelyn says, my nephew is autistic and he's doing so well. He's so amazing. My brother and sister-in-law work so hard and there's so much love in his life. That's awesome. So glad to hear that. Dow says she's hitting the like button.
Very
Amber
nice.
says every autistic kid is different like every other person. So I hate when people get grouped like that defines them. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Lauren said, isn't that the thought of all disabled people? They want to be seen as they are, not just their disability.
Mm-hmm.
And Dow says, Lauren and I are living examples that not all blind people are the same. That's very true. Stevie said, I had to stop hanging out with those groups too, Dana. As an autistic who parents autistic kiddos, we hear them ask is, tell us your secret, or is your neurotype needs fixing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they get into like that competition about who needs the most services and like who is like it's a weird competition. Like I only went to like a couple of those sessions as a specialist to kind of try and help the families, and I was like, yeah, I don't want my help, so I'm just gonna see myself out.
Yeah. I always got frustrated because people would be like, oh, when did you start noticing him change? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He was born this way. Like, it's called infant onset because that he came out of my body and it was like, oh, there's something different about this child. You know, and they're like, no. Like, did he get vaccines and then he started changing? And I was like, no. Let me explain this to you. Infant onset, which means birth, something's different. Yeah, and they struggle. People struggle because it's like they need to have something to blame, and I'm like, no, this is him. This is how he was made, and he's awesome, and I love him. And
Elijah is very awesome.
yeah, he's a rock star.
That's awesome. That makes me feel so good inside. All right, well, we are coming up on. We just passed the 30-minute mark, so at the hour mark, I want to see what our coloring looks like for those of us that are on screen for the record, just so that you know.
Okay.
You know, we can see Carol's. But I can't see what you doing, Dana. You can't see what I'm doing, so we gotta show them what we doing.
I'm trying to
Let's
find
show
my
them our
shapes.
colors.
Where are my shapes?
So is that like you have to find all the different shapes and then specify what color you want them to be?
Yeah, so what I'm doing here is if you take a look on the screen, I've got a whole bunch of layers right here because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find where her skin is and I'm trying to define the mask and all these other things because when I get to the shading portion, it's going to get absolutely insane and what I like to do is like, let's say I want to go ahead and like start shading her face or something, I'll go and turn all these other layers off just so I can see her face.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I have a tiny advantage over using a computer program, I know.
I'm like, that's really cool.
Yeah. I used to do more art, but I don't know what it was that turned me off of it at one point, at least the coloring portion. I think it just stopped being fun for me. And some hussy kept stealing my artwork and tracing it and saying it was hers. And I had to send like DeviantArt after her, and that was really annoying.
Oh no. You just never prosper.
Nope.
Dana, Lauren wants to know, have you watched the Netflix show Atypical about those with autism?
Oh, that was such a good show. I watched it.
My daughter watches it, and I've seen some of it, and it is good. But even she will be like, "Oh, that's not accurate." She's like, "Mom."
My question is, where was his case manager at school? Because I know that kid would have had a case manager, and that person would have played a factor in school too. Like especially when they were doing like that PDA meeting about like the dance that happened. Like she would have been in there being like, if we're gonna do this, then we need to take these things into consideration. But again, there's no sped teacher, no.
Right.
We're gonna go back to coloring.
So my daughter, Mini Monster, she really enjoyed the show, but she called out a couple of the things, and she has shown me like bits and pieces of it. But even she's like, "Mom, you would sit there and you would nitpick this thing to death, so just don't."
I did nitpick it a little bit, but I think in regards to individuals who don't really know anything about the lives of families that have somebody with autism in them, I think it's really eye-opening because one of the things that I usually have to talk to I used to talk to families about is that people will see your kid, but they don't see you and they don't understand what happens between you and what happens at home. So, one parent I had, their child would have tantrums, and if you like, and kids have tantrums for various reasons. Maybe they ate something and the texture was off, maybe they heard a noise, something set them off, and so these kids are having these moments, and it's very rough on the kid because they're distraught and the parents trying to help them, but because they're getting overstimulated, it's not helping, and all the parents are getting from people that are surrounding them is a lot of judgment because they're kind of like, why can't you control your kid? And that's not what's happening at all. Right. So sorry, that's my soapbox. I'll get off.
No, you're fine. You're fine. No. Jay said vaccines don't cause autism, they cause Karen.
Oh, shots fired.
That was amazing. It inspired me for one of the characters in the novel I'm developing. That is awesome. I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Barbara says, Spence, it really was. I had to take a second look at my main character. That is awesome. I'm so glad. Y'all don't know how nervous I was with that stream. I was like, I don't know how this is going to go over.
Oh, I knew you were going to rock it. You told me you were going to do it, and I was like, you're going to bring all the cool kids to the yard. I just know you are.
I enjoyed it so much. It even went longer than I expected, and we had great conversation before and after. I just enjoyed it so much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did too. I definitely wanted to say more, but I wasn't there.
I learned so much. There's so many things I was exposed to that I didn't know. Like Kat was dropping gems, telling us about all the different types of sign language.
Oh yeah, it's a whole new world there. It really
Right.
is.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I definitely learned a lot because it's like, I think because of the unique disabilities in my home, I know those. And that's the other thing. Like when somebody finds out that you're the caregiver or that you have somebody with a disability in your home, they automatically assume like you're some kind of advocate for peoples with disabilities, and it's like I know my tribe. I have no idea what you're talking about. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I learned so much more, and it was refreshing knowing that, hey, I'm not alone. You know?
Right.
So,
Well, yeah, because even with us, you don't always. I mean, we as like kind of like your inner circle, even in those situations, you don't always share those kind of details, and I get why, because it's really hard for people to understand if they're not kind of going through that situation themselves. So.
yeah, and well, and I've gotten to like, I guess I've just gotten to the point in life where it's like, yeah, this is what's going on, but it's not like, I like, I get like, you know how when you introduce yourself, you're like, hey, I'm Dana, I'm an author, this is who I am, yay, yay, yay. And then I never am like, oh yeah, and let me go through all this stuff. It usually, the only time I talk about it typically is when it like organically just kind of,
Comes up.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, my husband, my son, my daughter, my other son. Besides, I'd probably spend like 6 months just explaining one of my.
Yeah, divided by sight. I think it's a good reference if you don't know anything, and that's usually why I encourage it. But if it's, again, like people like me and Dana would probably nitpick it to no end because we know a lot more about that. But I think it's nice that that kind of thing comes out because, like I said, people who don't know anything about what's going on with families are very quick to pass judgment on them, and I just get really upset about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And well, and I want to say that that was one of the, um, what do they call it? One of the episodes that Mini Monsters showed to me, and I really was upset because, um, inappropriate touching is what neurotypical people call it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're dealing with somebody who has a disability where boundaries are something that they just don't understand, it's not a concept that they understand, and they have to be taught. And each situation is a different situation, and so they need someone to be there to guide them and say, look, this is okay, this isn't okay. And so yes, there should have been a case manager there, and it made me
Yeah.
really upset because now you have this vulnerable person who's being, you know, being put in a situation where there's all kinds of dangers, and it's like, why would you put this person in that situation as the parent? Why would you allow your child to be put in this situation? Where was the parents? Why weren't they advocating for a chaperone, someone to be there, someone to guide them? Or why weren't
Uh-huh.
they doing this, you know?
Yeah,
So
and just kind of relying on like the sister to basically like take care of all the school needs. And I'm like for like he was very high functioning, don't get me wrong. Like that would have been the dream kid I would have wanted to be the case manager for, but I still would have gone and done check-ins. Like if he forgets his lunch money, case managers at school do handle that. Like they do.
Yeah.
They do a lot of things, and so I thought it was a disservice to not show that environment. But like at the same time, I think they were just trying to build up on the fact that the sister was sacrificing everything for her brother and trying to build that conflict up as well.
Right. And then you get the whole savior complex. And it's like,
Oh, with the girlfriend? These are
well,
totally spoilers, by the way, guys. Sorry.
well, and just in general, when you have a neurotypical child and you have a child with a disability, it's almost like the neurotypical child feels like they have to be the one to save them from all these situations. And it really is unfair to the neurotypical child because that's not their job. That's not why they were put on this earth to, you know what I mean? And so,
Yeah.
and this what you're seeing right here is why I have to stay away from these kinds of shows.
Shows.
I will, will be like, no, 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 no. This is not how we roll.
Yeah,
and
the one thing that drove me bonkers is when the girlfriend happened in the show, because like that needed to be a big clan powwow meeting that also needed to include like the psychologist, and there needed to be a lot of ground rules settled down, because she came in and just bulldozed this poor kid and started to mother him and all this other stuff. Like it was definitely like her looking at him like a pet project, and not actually, like, I didn't get the feeling that she wanted to be with him because she liked him. She just saw him as a like I said, just a project. Like, I can fix him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know anytime that my kids would start dating, like the families would get involved, they would go out to dinner together and they would explain ground rules and talk about what set the kid off. So there's like this one scene where she invites him out to dinner with her very loud Italian family.
Yeah.
And doesn't understand why he gets up and walks out. Like, what's happening? Okay, I'm done. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Yes, we want to do more disability streams. So yes, so for those who are listening, the next plan to do the next disability stream is in August. It will specifically be for those who have decided to write characters. So you will have had to have written some sort of character in some form that has a disability, because we're going to dissect those characters. So that is the plan for that, so that it's actually helping you to apply what you've been learning in the streams to your writing. So that's the plan for the next one. So just
Can you do me a favor when you have that stream? Big pet peeve of mine.
Uh-huh.
Can you have magic not fix the disability? Can we
Oh yeah, no, that's
okay.
a definite thing. Like, the whole point that we talked about is we don't want anything to change the disability. We want the disabilities to be there just like they would for any other thing that happens. Like, just like you name what their hair color is, okay, they're deaf. Yeah. Oh no, not populating comments. That's no bueno.
That's rude. Need to have serious talks there.
What happened?
YouTube's not showing comments on Sarah's video.
And Dana said, I learned a lot. Lauren said, Dana, same. I learned a lot. That's awesome. I thought it was really great that even as panelists, we were able to learn.
Oh, yeah.
That really was like the best part of it for me.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and it just goes to show that not people, even though people live with disabilities and they have disabilities, doesn't make them an expert on all disabilities. And that's what I'm, if I could just beat it into one person's head.
Yeah, there's always stuff to learn. Like, go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's like you are constantly learning. And just because you know a lot, or you know a little bit about one disability, doesn't mean you know about all of them. And when people hear that you're the parent or the spouse of a disabled person, they're like, oh, let me ask you all these questions. And it's like, what?
Yeah, when I used to teach, I would go to these seminars, and I have to pay to go to them. Like, But I would go to these seminars and they would give in like so much information. Like one seminar I went to had to do with all of the changes that happened to the DSM-5, which is basically the big instruction book that happens between psychologists and doctors when it comes to diagnosing people with disabilities. And in the DSM-5, when that one came out, they actually made it so being gay wasn't a disorder. So like whoop-de-fucking-do on that, because I was waiting for that to happen. So they changed that. But then the other thing that they did, which kind of screwed a lot of people over, is that they took Asperger's and autism and they made them the same thing, which that makes a lot of sense. Like I understand why, because they're both communication disorders. But it did cause like a ripple because people who were diagnosed with Asperger's didn't want to get clumped in with the people with autism because they had their own stigma against that group. Like one person who occasionally comes to my physical writing group, he says like, well, I'm just going to keep saying I have Asperger's. Like you can do that, but your doctor and your psychologist and everybody else is going to say, no, you have type 1 autism. So.
Right? Or like when you try to tell people that anxiety attacks aren't a medically recognized thing.
Yeah.
Like panic attacks are, but anxiety attacks are not. And so when you try to tell people that there is a distinct difference, they are not the same things. And they try to argue with you, and you're like, no, I've been doing this for quite a while. I know. And no, they're not the same thing. They don't. One technically doesn't exist in the medical world if you ask them. So there's that.
Yeah, and the medications that they give for anxiety are completely ridiculous as well. Like I have an anxiety disorder, and the medication that they provided to me is really addictive. So I get stressed out about taking my stress meds. Like I think I've only opened that bottle like 3 times.
Yeah, I was the same way. Like, and they regulate. Well, one of them, like, people have to sign their initials on the pill bottle. I can't get my prescription filled in other states more than once. Like, it's crazy the amount of like work that has to go into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you got to go in once a month. You got to have all your and I appreciate that they are as strict as they are with it because people were selling it, people were getting addicted to it, people were doing all kinds of stupid things with it, and that's why they have to regulate it so badly. But I'm also thankful that they regulate it like they do because it can really mess up with your internal organs.
Yeah.
So it's like so not only do you have anxiety, but now you have to worry about your internal organs, you have to worry about addiction, you have to worry about all these other things. So for me, who is an anxious parent, I'm like, yes, take her blood and let's make sure that everything is functioning properly. And yes, let's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because when my doctor was going over all the meds that he wanted to give me and all the side effects, I was like, I am so confused. Why do you think that this is good for me right now?
Yeah.
It's like when I was in the military and I had a breakdown and the meds that they gave me were going to cause hallucinations, and I'm like, I'm already stressed out, like, and you want to give me something that's going to make me see stuff. Like, can you just like keep in mind I was doing like police augmentee at the time, and I was like, that is not a good combo. I should not be seeing things while I'm doing my augmentee work. That sounds like a really bad idea.
Right.
And then because I wouldn't take those meds, they wouldn't give me that percentage when I had to file my claim when I left the military. It's like, well, you didn't take the meds, therefore you don't get the benefits. And I was like, you mofos.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So we got Chelsea from Written in Melanin in here just to chill, and she said this is some intense art. I was expecting a legit coloring book. Since I got a legit coloring book, like, yeah, nah, I'm coloring in a coloring book.
Yeah, I was gonna say I went online and got some coloring pages because I thought Mini Monster would have a coloring book somewhere in her room, and no. So
I got my Crayola box too. No.
Yeah. Here we go.
You are not alone. You are not alone over there.
Carol
Carol had to be high tech and whatnot. She was like, "F what y'all talking about. I'm gonna do this on a computer."
I was gonna say she's got some high tech technology going on, which, like, I bought I bought Elijah Adobe Art, I think it is, or Adobe Paint or something, and he has the pad. He has like the trackpad and the pencils and all this stuff. So he has all of this stuff, and he is like, "No, Mom, I just want to use my pencils and my sketch pad." And I'm like, "Okay, cool," because he gets. I think maybe after you were showing me all those layers, I think he just gets frustrated with.
That can be really overwhelming. Yeah.
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 But yeah, so we're old school in this house.
I just spent a lot of money on this stuff, and I'm gonna use it.
That's right. That's the other discouraging thing. Is the cost of all. It's like the pad, then the pens. Those were not cheap, and then the program itself was not cheap, and it's just like. So when he was like, "Yeah, sorry, Mom, I know you put a bunch of money into this, but I'm just gonna stick with my sketch pens." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I mean, depending on what you do with it, you can kind of semi-claim it back on a tax refund. So like part of the reason I make an effort to update my Redbubble with the frequency I do is so I can basically write off all the stuff I've got because I'm using it to make income. And what really sucks is that a whole bunch of like art programs have gone to like a monthly subscription base. And I'm not a fan of that just because I like to buy my software once and then just keep it. But when like my main program before this one that I'm using was Photoshop, and I was really good in Photoshop and I did a lot of good stuff, but then they were like, "Oh, by the way, you have to use this software now." And I was like, "I don't want to use that software." It's like, "Too bad."
Yeah.
I'm gonna use it.
We are removing your choice. Sorry, because they're making money off of it somehow.
Yeah, I understand why they're doing it. I just don't like it. Man.
The cashier found these amazing crayons. They're like, she's got. Did you show them your crayons, Cashay? She got fancy crayons.
Yeah, so if you win the coloring contest, you get a regular 24 pack, but you also get, and let's put me big on the screen. Okay. You also get this 8-pack of pearl crayons, 8-pack of metallic crayons, and 8-pack of glitter crayons. So you get 48 crayons in total. So
I know, and they're like,
you got the wet nose all on this paper. Boy, really? You just
Your dog gonna do what he wanna do.
right.
No, he's like
what he wants and don't care what I want. Don't care that I want this picture to look beautiful, do you, Tyke? No.
No, Mom, I just want you to love on me and give me kisses, and I need to taste your fingers.
I don't care. I don't care.
Oh, I played Oink into the ground. I was like, nope, we're gonna throw this ball. We're gonna go get the ball. Get this ball. Let's go. Let's go. And now she is passed out. I'm like, that's a good baby.
That's a good doggo. Good doggo being asleep.
Right. I wish they were asleep right now. He's over here biting my toes. Like, could you leave my feet alone, Tyke?
Oh, they taste so good, Mom. They're good tasting feet.
I need them feetsies. Give me them feets. Man, there's a lot going on in this picture.
Right? Uh-huh. That's why I don't like adult coloring books, because they got so many lines. Like, I like the big kid coloring books with the big open spaces.
And you can make those lines if you want.
Right. And I can do designs in the shapes and stuff. Like, I can make it real creative.
I know. Mini Monster's gonna be like, "What, Mom? What are you doing, Mom? You're coloring without me?
How dare!
Those are some fancy crayons, Sarah says. Chelsea says, ooh, ah.
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm either gonna win this thing or I'm going shopping.
Like, I'm either winning this contest or I'm going shopping.
That's right.
Well, just
Them
remember-
crayons will be mine.
Right.
The Dana has spoken.
That's right.
She's claiming them. I feel you. I'm right there with you. I don't have to win the contest. I bought 2 of everything yes, when I went.
Cachet wins no matter what.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, the likelihood of me wanting these crayons for myself is very, very big.
Some people like Christmas in July. My favorite time of year is back to school. Okay. And
back to school is my favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and it's not because the kids are going back to school. I love having my kids at home. It's because they come out with all the supplies. They got new crayons every year, new markers,
pretty journals. Yeah, that's what I do. I like up on that.
Yes. During back to school time, my husband is like, "This is your list. Go get what's on the list and come home." And of course, there's always a bag of, "Oh, but this was so pretty. Oh, but this is going to help me be more organized. Oh, but I couldn't live without this fuzzy pencil." Oh, yeah.
I'm still on a ban for office supplies right now. Mr. Brown was like, no.
He said, no, not happening. I need you to get it together over there.
Oh, yeah, because we went through all my teaching supplies, and I had, like, a hoard of sticky notes and a whole bunch of other stuff. And he's like, you have literally no reason to get more office supplies. And I was like, but they're pretty, and they got colors, and I just want them. He's like, no. And I still went and got them anyway.
Oh, snap.
You're like, "I'm going to show you who wears the pants in this house."
Oh, no, it's definitely him. Let's not even pretend.
No. It's not me. Let me, in case he in these comments. Nope.
Nope.
I didn't say that.
Oh, man.
Jocelyn says, my husband never leaves me unattended in the stationery store. I'm the same. Chelsea says, I love the limited edition stuff for back to school. I got post-teacher PTSD, but I still love buying supplies. Sarah says, my wedding anniversary is near back to school because I plan on getting myself stuff for my anniversary every year. That's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Adult coloring books would be too complicated, Chelsea says. I did one, but people kept sending to me, and I'm like, do I look stressed enough to need 5 books from y'all?
I do. Send.
Yeah, send them my way, because I'll be coloring. But I can't find the 6 Lisa Frank coloring books I'm supposed to have. So there's that.
Oh, that is there. Look at me finding gaps in what I'm doing. I need to change this background color.
Well, Mini Monster, she is really weird about her colors, like how she organizes her colors. She's not weird. She's like totally OCD, but she just doesn't know it yet. She might, but anyway, she's going to get back home and she's going to see that her crayon or her colored pencils are all messed up, and she's going to be like, Mom. Here's the schematic.
I can see it already. It's like, we talked about boundaries, and I'm supposed to respect your boundaries, but what about mine? I can already see it. It's in my head. I'm here.
I'll be like, Mini Monster, it was a last minute thing. It was an emergency. And then she'll pull this like, you need an emergency, a colored pencil emergency. Really, Mom? I'm like, I bought them to begin with.
Right.
No,
Where we at? Okay, we're about to be at the first hour, guys. I'm trying to color these little lavender sections in real quick.
Alright. What time is it? Okay. Okay.
Okay, so the contest. Sorry for those of you who didn't hear about it. Okay, so the contest is during this stream. You are to color a picture. You are to tag me on Instagram or Twitter if you post it there. You can post up to 2 times, 2 different entries. You tag me in it. You do the hashtag Self Care Sunday, and the voting starts tomorrow. I will collect them all and put them on my page, and there will be a voting. So. Okay, so here's mine so far. Here's mine so far.
Oh,
I love it.
Got my little rainbow colored turtle right now. All right, and so okay, Dana, you ready?
okay. Yeah, hold on. That is mine so far.
See, hold on. I'm trying to figure out how to
That's
get
mine.
No,
I mean, you can
I'm
say
trying
Dana
to get
did
her.
that if you want. That's Dana's work.
No, there we go.
Oh, I love it.
I like it. I like it. Okay, and now we have Carol's.
I'll get rid of
I
mine.
know.
It's not Franklin, but we can make him Franklin. Hey, it's Franklin. Yeah. It can be Franklin for all I care.
Carol be cheating. Carol got computers.
Yeah, she got computers. It makes it go faster, but it's whatever. We not gonna call you a cheater.
I am willingly not including myself in the contest because I'm like, that's just not fair.
Oh, no. No. There were no rules stating it could not be a digital.
If people vote, it's the voting.
Yeah.
It's the voting.
Yeah, and if people in the comments are also using digital art, it's still art.
Because I didn't say that it couldn't be that way.
Okay.
She did not specify in the rules that it had to be.
I just said you had to color. I didn't say it had to be crayons or pens or nothing.
Okay.
That's her polite way of being like, all right, enough, girls, shut up.
I heard y'all.
Hey, I heard you. I hear you. I respect your stance.
I'm entering the contest. Dang.
I didn't even have a choice. Wow. It's like, no, Carol, you'd be doing this thing with us. Like, okay. And we're talking about all sorts of fun stuff today.
Right. Isn't it good? Just different conversations and everything. Yeah, we're going to call it Franklin and Snail, Chelsea. I'm with you on that.
Every time I look up, I'm like, am I missing these comments? They're over.
No, I haven't put them up because they were covering up your face.
You can't hide your face. Everyone has to see your face, Dana.
I was going to say, you can totally cover up my face. Everybody knows what I look like. This is what I look like on Sunday.
Cover up Dana's beautiful face. That wasn't my intention.
No, it doesn't bother me at all.
I remember, I think my first interaction with Dana was when she was trying to tell me how to live stream. Not tell me, she was helping me figure out how to live stream in Google Hangouts. And I was like,
I'm like, I don't know.
Help.
It's okay. It's okay. But you know who taught me how to live stream in Google Hangouts?
Was it Sarah?
It was.
Ah, look at that.
Look at that.
I am only as fabulous as I am today because Sarah helped me.
Sarah.
That is awesome.
Written in Melanin was asking, does anyone actually run through all their pens? I do run through my pens because after calculating how much money I had spent on them over the years, I was like, it's time. And so I did. I deliberately went on a pen diet, and when they die, I throw them away, and then I'm like, okay, now I can go buy another one.
I have never went on a pen diet, and I probably should.
Well, it was one of those
You know, I love the way you started that.
I know. It was just one of those revelation moments where it was like I had more pens in coffee mugs on my desk than any other thing. And I was like, I have a problem.
Not seeing the problem here, Dana. What are you trying to say?
Addiction comes in many forms.
I feel like you're throwing me out and I don't like it.
No, I'm just saying, addiction comes in many forms, and I recognize mine. Okay. Oh man.
Yeah, this is a big picture. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to color it in 2 hours.
You know what that means? You'll just have to have another coloring stream.
Right.
I know. Does it? So it has to be finished in the 2-hour mark in order for it to be, or just
Let's
finished?
See, what did I put in the instructions? Because I feel like you have to tag me in it before
The end of the day.
Yeah. Nope, before the end of the stream is what I put.
Ooh.
I'm definitely not gonna be done.
Because I think the point was for me to make sure you were like watching the stream.
Oh, okay.
Why are you holding us accountable like that? Why are you holding me accountable?
Yeah, like you gotta actually pay attention to me just a little bit, y'all.
Yeah, that's actually really good. You were smart. Look at you, all smart like that.
I'm not surprised. She took the
image. I didn't do the brave like you gotta be subscribed to. I didn't do that part. You just be watching so you know when the stream ended.
Well, they're gonna have to subscribe to you on whatever social media they tag you in, so they know who the winner is.
On social media, you do.
Yep. Otherwise, you're gonna miss who won.
And your chance to vote or tell people to vote for you.
Yep. You holding up these contests?
Yeah.
So, is it fair to say that if they tag you in a picture before the end of the stream, and then they tag you again with an updated version of it, is that okay? Can't do that?
Yeah, I'll let that be okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. So I'm like, we're gonna be seeing
because some of y'all picked hard pictures. I'll give you that. Some of y'all picked some hard pictures. I don't know why y'all did that. This was supposed to be relaxing, but whatever.
I am relaxed. Look, I am totally zen right now.
As long as you're relaxed, I'm okay. As long as you are enjoying the self-care part of this Sunday, I'm fine with it. Oh, my boyfriend, what'd you do today? I hung out with my friends and colored.
That's right.
I had one parent where they were like, I can't believe you make them color for the first half hour of the day. And I was like, I would love for you to volunteer and be classroom mom, and you can kind of see how it's helpful because I can explain it in all sorts of ways, but you're not going to get it until you see it in action.
Right.
And to her credit, she actually did come and be classroom mom, and I had to like warn the kids like a week in advance that she was coming because with the demographic that I was working with, they do not respond well to surprises at all. Like, not at all.
I never questioned the method of the teachers. I had one disabled child to deal with. They had 20, and each one of them were uniquely different than the other, and they all had their own individual triggers, and they all had it. And so it was always the teacher and maybe 1 or 2 classroom aides. And I was like, you do whatever you got to do to get the job done. Mm-hmm. Okay. Here are your tools. Go for it.
Yeah, nobody told me this when I took over the position, but one of my kids was actually the adopted child of of a very big government figure here.
Yeah.
And so we had an incident that happened with their son, and they're like, okay, well, his dad's gonna come down. I was like, okay, good. I'd like to speak to him. I was like, no, you're gonna stay inside because when the reporters show up, we don't need your face on the camera. And I was like, what are you talking about? So that was
Wow.
not great. But I did get to meet the dad. So I was like, hi.
Tools are my favorite pens. Tools are my favorite pens. Okay, I just had to throw that out there. Sorry.
Do you have a bleed through problem with them? Because I always have a bleed through problem with them. Maybe I'm just not picking good paper stock to work with.
But I got. There's two different kinds. So there are kind that bleed through, and then there's kind that don't. That are like ballpoint. They don't bleed. So yeah.
Maybe that's my mistake.
All y'all with this "what's relax" is what you're supposed to be doing on this stream. Dang it.
You can do it. You can just kind of like, just chill, take a breath.
Right. Okay, so here's the updated Franklin.
Oh, it's so pretty.
The updated Franklin.
That turtle helping the snail out. That's a good
Oh
friend.
my gosh, the turtle's got. I can't remember what the turtle's name is. It's something really cute.
Franklin?
No, the snail. I'm sorry, the snail.
Oh, I'm like the turtle's Franklin.
I just want you to give me a new layer. Why is this so hard? There.
Chelsea says she used the ballpoints as well for the tool.
Next time I go get those pens, that's what I'm gonna do.
I don't know why the turtle looks like Franklin. Y'all gonna have to ask Lisa Frank.
I got questions. Only you can answer them.
Right. I don't know why I look like Franklin, but that's what we calling him. We calling him Franklin. And Franklin got some tattoos on his shell. He was like, it's pride. I want to stand in solidarity with my friends. So, yep.
We're doing this.
Oh, I just realized your character was playing a flute.
Got one. Soon will she play? Who knows? Maybe she'll get all the rats out of the village. I don't know. Pied Piper. That's actually one of my favorite stories, as morbid as it was. I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do with this area up here because I can't tell what it is. Like, are those feathers? Is that more sky? Like, what's happening? I'm very confused.
Chelsea says, teaching second grade, the principal refused to let us have kids go to the restroom alone or get water. It had to be a class trip every time. 25 kids, 19 boys, 10 fighters. It was miserable, which is why I had teachers. I had to quit. That sounds awful.
That sounds terrible.
Right. That sounds like a lot of work.
No bueno for me.
Sorry, Tala had to go outside.
No, you're fine.
You know, start us. We're all dog owners here.
Right, we understand.
So,
Y'all heard mine acting like they had everything in the world going on and wasn't nobody even walking past the door.
yeah. She's like, Mom. And then I was like, she was out there. So most people leave the dog door open. We lock the dogs inside during the day because it's way too hot. And they will just stay out there all day. And so I was standing at the sliding glass door, and she's on the other side of the yard, and she looks up at me. She's just standing in the middle of the yard, like sunbathing. She looks up at me, and I'm like, "Get in this house!" And all of a sudden, here's like 150 pounds of Tala just hustling for the door, and I'm like, "Oh, I better open this thing before she." She is,
Crashes into the door.
oh yeah,
Right.
We'll lock this all of our back door.
Mhm. She's amazing. I just love her. She's a nut.
Jay says, damn it, get the routes out of the village turned into boys to the yard in my head, and now Carol's picture is officially playing milkshake on that food.
We'll go with that.
That
Good
milkshake
song.
brings all the boys to the
There's a
yard.
yard, they're like,
It's
it's better
better
than
than yours.
yours. Yeah, that's a good song.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Mini Monster is visiting our mountain people, and that's her favorite place in the whole planet. And if I had $1,000,000, that is exactly where I would be. However, I don't need $1,000,000. If I had enough money, that is exactly where I would be. I'm like, I don't need $1,000,000 to go home. However, she's there now, and she's making her way back across the country. And she told my sister, she's like, I guess I'll see you when I'm an adult. I'm like, you little turd, it's gonna be before then.
That's funny.
Your daughter's very witty.
I know, she is amazing, and she's kind of a turd. She's an amazing turd, Blossom.
All right, Franklin is colored. Now for these trees, dang it.
I think the other part about coloring that discourages me is I'm not very good at color coordinating. And so, okay, speaking of coloring contests, my sister and I have a lot of sisters. So when I say my sister a lot, I'm not talking about the same sister all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, but I got a plenty. I got like a quiver full of sisters. And
A quiver full of
yeah. And I only have one brother. So out of all these girls, I got one brother. Anyway, so J.C. Penney's Was it JC Penney's? Yeah, no. Yeah, it was. It was JC Penney's. Was doing a coloring contest when The Land Before Time came out. And it was, I think it was The Land Before Time 2. And my sister loved Littlefoot. I mean, she was just in love with him.
Littlefoot's amazing. She's got good taste.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. The movie made me cry, but she was like passionate about Littlefoot. And so my mom went to, she actually, from where we lived, the mall was like an hour and a half drive. So my mom drove that drive and picked up 4 coloring sheets so that each one of us would have the opportunity to win this contest. And my sister colored her picture and she made it look just like Littlefoot. Like she got the VHS packaging and she sat down and she literally made the picture look like Littlefoot. Okay. And my Littlefoot looked like a patch quilt Littlefoot. I used every single color in the box because he needed to be a happy Littlefoot. You know, his mom died. So he needed to be a happy rainbow Littlefoot. Guess who won? Not me.
You
No. My sister won and she got like a copy of the first movie and the second movie. She got like a bunch of candy and popcorn, and she got like an actual authentic Littlefoot stuffed bear that was like 2 feet tall. And she's well into her 30s now and she still has it.
Oh, that's so sweet though.
Yeah, that's how much she loved him. But that was like, my mom made so much fun of me. She's like, he looks like a patch quilt hobo Littlefoot.
Aww.
And I was like, maybe I'm just not a colorer.
Maybe coloring isn't for me.
I know. And now I'm like, oh, look, there I go, using all the colors in the box again.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
That's definitely me. Lisa Frank cured me of that. It was like, yep, nope, let's use all the colors.
Yeah.
All the colors? Yep, all the colors.
Well, that's what the box is for. Like, yeah, I don't like, I'm not a big fan of like one color. The whole box has got to get used or it's just not authentic. It's not good enough for me if I don't use all the colors.
My Dane over there got some serious standards. Better watch out now.
Oh, Oh, okay. I just saw Heather's comment. I'll go check it. I was going to say I'm on a Facebook social media fast, but I will go check it.
That's definitely a mood right now.
Right? For sure.
All my friends are doing that. I really hate it when this happens, but all my friends are doing this, or starting to do this. Well, if you care about me, you'll respond to this message, and if you don't, I'm going to take you off my list. And like, I don't know if you guys know anything about me. I'm not always like super attentive to what's going on in my social media. And because of the algorithms in Facebook, I don't always see that stuff.
I end up like hurting feelings and I didn't even know it. I'm like, I just didn't see the message, friend. It's like, well, you should have seen it. I'm like, what do you want from me? One person.
Well, yeah, like I always tell when people come at me like that, I'm like, you know what? If you think all I do is sit around watching Facebook for these ridiculous chain mail bullshit thing, and that's what you're going to value our friendship off of, then we don't need to be friends anymore. Because I got family, I got like all this stuff going on, you know? So if my friendship to you is based off of a post that I didn't see because I was busy taking care of life, we don't need to be friends.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, holy crap.
Like, I love you. Please don't be angry at me. Stiffle.
Yeah. I always get frustrated with those.
Ew. Love my friends. I don't like that stuff, though.
That part.
Yeah, so I think I officially just let the whole universe know. If you don't get a response from me, it's because I was busy lifing, okay? There it is there. It's not because I'm ignoring you. I just had other things I had to take care of.
Jay said, can you paint with all the colors in the box?
Can I paint with all the colors in the box? Have you seen my office? Absolutely. Absolutely.
It was a Pocahontas reference. Can you
Oh,
paint
All the colors in the wind.
colors of the wind? Come on, Dana.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We forgive you, Dana. It's okay.
It's okay.
I told you guys I am not a movie watcher because if seriously, like I can't watch.
And that one is definitely not historically accurate. So
And
no.
I have hashed it out with Minnie Monster several times, and she's like, "Mom, it's a romance story. You're just supposed to focus on the romance." And I'm like, "But it's not.
No,
It's
not a romance story. It's not at all.
I know.
One side of my family likes to lay claim to the fact that we're descendants of Pocahontas, and given my complexion, I never really bring it up because I'm like, but my grandma was always the first to talk about the historical inaccuracy of that and actually like tell people what really went down. So many bubbles get burst, like,
I believe it.
yeah. And talking about something else that made people upset when The Lion King came out the first time, I made so many people very unhappy because I had actually read Hamlet.
Yeah.
And I knew what Hamlet was, and I had also seen Kimba the White Lion. And so I was trying to tell people, it's like, no, this movie is actually a ripoff of this Japanese show that came out in the 1970s, which is the ripoff off of Hamlet. And they're like, no, it's not. I was like, yeah, it is. Like, we have the internet. Go look it up.
They're like, stop truthing, Caro. Stop truthing.
How dare I challenge the authenticity of your favorite movie? I'll just return to my Caro page.
I get like that when I try to tell people slavery is still legal, and they're like, no, it's not. I was like, have you read the 13th Amendment?
Okay, so you told me that, and I was like, seriously? So I did just that, because that's who I am. You tell me a fact, and I'm going to go make sure that we're speaking the same language. So I went, and I was like, what the hell is this horse shit?
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and then I went out to Mr. Man, and I'm like, did you know this? And he's like, yeah, you didn't know that? And I was like, no. As a matter of fact, I took cliff notes during American history and American government.
I'm so proud that you went and educated yourself, Dana.
I'm like, holy shit.
I know, for sure. Because like a lot of people don't. They just want to argue with you, and you're like, no, dude. Like I'm like, it's literally there in black and white. I know you might not want to see it, but
that's a thing.
Yeah.
that was one of the first things when I was over in England, because I learned about American history in England, and one of the first things that they talk about once they get done with like, these are the class and these are the expectations and blah 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 blah, and it's like, so let's talk about America and how slavery is still legal there. And I was like, what? And it's really weird because like, as the only American in the room, like suddenly like every head turns towards me, and it's like, I don't represent this law. I really don't. Get away.
And they're like, I didn't do this. It wasn't me. But um, because I've always been, and this might get me a little bit of shit in the comments, and that's okay. I've always been an advocate for the prison system being self sustainable. Because here in Arizona, our prisons used to be like 80% self sustainable. The inmates grew their own food, raised their own meat, sewed their own clothes. They were very much self sustainable. And then it was no longer profitable for inmates to grow their own food and to take care of themselves. And so it stopped. And I thought that was the dumbest shit ever, because not only did it teach skills and it gave people a skill when they came out of prison, it's a form of rehabilitation as well, which is what I was under the impression the prison system was supposed to be about. So I always get into these huge conversations, and then when you brought that to my attention about legal slavery and how it's legal to use inmates as slaves, I was like, what the hell is going on here? It really just, like, I had to pause for a moment and be like, this is some bullshit. This is
Right.
some
But the thing is that it's not something that's taught. Like, we're so slavery, like, you're taught slavery ended. You're not taught that there's an asterisk next to the end of the word ended. Like, you're not taught that. And
Right.
unless you actually go and read it, which a lot of people don't, like, you wouldn't know that it says except for where convicted. Well, if you think back to it, what were the first police officer jobs to do? Catch runaway slaves.
right.
That was the very first reason that police officers were created. Like, so it's like there's so much, to unpack there. But like Carol said, like the fact that you just went and you looked it up and you're like, I'm gonna find more information about that. That says a lot about the type of character that you have to want to educate yourself about stuff that you didn't know about. Because it's okay to be ignorant. Like Kat said, ignorant just means you don't know something.
Right.
It's what
You
you do
don't
when
know,
you
you can
find
always
out.
learn. Right. You can always learn.
Oh, yeah. Well, written in melanin brings up a really good point. When I found out about the Icelandic region and how they run their prison systems, they were giving convicted murderers like butcher knives and stuff, and they have like apartments where they cook for themselves, and they're like, there's no like bars, and and they get to go outside, and I was just like, that is rehabilitation. That is how it should be. And then I look at ours and I'm like, and then I started learning more, and it's like people are profiting off of human beings remaining incarcerated. And I was
Like they have quotas to keep people in prison. If we don't have this many people in there, this state has to pay this prison this money. Like, it's
yeah,
ridiculous. I live in Oklahoma, and Oklahoma is one of the states that every year it increases the number of things that can keep you in prison. Like the
yeah.
number of things that become felony increase every year in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I just
We have been the
sometimes.
number one for black women incarcerated for ever since I was a child. I remember
Mhm.
hearing that statistic. So number one in the state, like, come on, Oklahoma, you got to do better.
Yeah, you would think, but
Talking about all the topics today.
Right, we touching on everything. Y'all know y'all gonna get some lessons when you come to Cachet Channel. You gonna learn something today. Barbara says, yeah, they turned into free labor corporations. Chelsea says prison should focus on reform instead of being about caging and abusing people. When you look at prison systems overseas, it's nothing like America. Barbara says slavery didn't end, it evolved. Chelsea says they're still treated like people. Such a novel idea. And their school systems are starkly different too. I always find it interesting that both prisons and schools are called institutions.
Yeah, there was a joke at my writing group because it was me and a current police officer, and it was me, a current police officer, and somebody who served time for 10 years, and we would just sit in a row together, and sometimes we would just compare like our different professions and about how like they actually weren't very different at all, and
yeah. My mom, she worked for the Department of Corrections for 13 years, and she was invited to go on a field trip with one of my siblings, and she made the comment that she would rather be stuck on a cell block during a riot than on a school bus with children. And yeah, when I heard her say this, I really had to take a step back, and I was like, and then I started paying attention to what was going on the ride home from school, and I was like, oh my God.
It's intense.
Yeah.
Like at one point they were trying to ask for us to go and like volunteer on the bus rides, and I was like, absolutely not. Like those kids are completely insane.
Mm-hmm.
And if you try to get them to act in order, they're just going to rebel against you, and that's already a tight space, and everybody knows that the way that the school buses are treated aren't actually like, they're not done to keep like your kids comfortable. You know, those seats are just supposed to have like 2 kids on it, but they make 4 squash on there, and God help you if you have an instrument.
Yeah.
So, and they're hot, and those buses are always broken too. Like my brother-in-law, he used to be a mechanic for the school district out here for the school buses, and he'd be like, this bus is about to catch on fire. You really need to do all these things. They're like, just change the oil because we have to still keep going. Like that was just the norm. It was completely insane.
I don't know which state it was, but they had a serious bus accident with unrestrained children, and everybody was like suddenly shocked that American children are not restrained.
Wore a seatbelt on a bus. I never remember wearing a seatbelt on a school bus as a child.
All these people, yeah, all these people were outraged that we don't have seatbelts on school buses, and I was like, when did you think that they installed seatbelts? I remember one time I got on the bus, and the only reason why there were restraints on this bus was because it was a bus that was designed for disabled children. And they had some wicked, crazy restraints. I was like,
restraints was different.
Yeah, no. Can you guys hear me? Because somebody in the comments said they can't hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. No. You can?
Oh, you're definitely louder now. But yeah,
you're louder. You sound much clearer now. Yeah.
Okay. Like literally the mic was down here and now it's up here. So I don't know. I might have to get a different set. No, because when I worked in that charter school I was telling you about, so what they would do is they would have a boy teacher, a girl teacher, boy teacher, girl teacher, and then we would, and what would happen is, for example, in the room next to me, so I had the moderately to mostly functioning students in my classroom, but in the one next to me, they had like the older group that they didn't want to get mingled in with the younger ones because of legal reasons. And occasionally our call sign was 3 thumps against the wall, which meant that we needed the other teacher to come in and help with the restraint. So in the room next to mine, there was like 2 girls, and because of the rules and regulations, like the men can't restrain them like a woman has to. So I would have to come in there and do some restraints, which is why I never wore earrings and I always had my hair up in a ponytail, because when
you just never know.
Yeah, and it got, what I will say is like the one person that I did have to come in and sometimes restrain is that over time she actually got a lot better. Because I would walk into the room and she would look at me and she's like, I don't want to be held down. And I was like, I don't want to hold you down either. So why don't we take a walk to the room and you go talk about your feelings? And she's like, I don't want to talk to them about my feelings. And I was like, then let's just go take a walk because this is not working right now.
Right.
So.
Right. Let's do something. We got to do something.
She was a good kid. I don't know what happened to her after that, but she was a good kid.
Yeah.
And
All
one of
right, I'm ready to show what y'all done done. I'll show y'all where I'm at with Franklin.
I'm sure he's gorgeous.
Oh, he's such a happy Franklin.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Such a happy Franklin and Snail. All right, Danny, you ready?
I'm gonna say her name was Shelly, or his name. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to find out what this. Ready? 1,
Mm-hmm.
2, 3.
Ooh.
Oh, I didn't see the bottom part.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, that's why I had the card. I had the card up earlier because I wanted it to be a surprise.
I had questions. You got me.
I like it. Oh, snap. Look at her. Look at her.
Yeah. That is so cool.
That is. That is. Yep. Franklin is colorful. Franklin is hella colorful, y'all.
Franklin's beautiful.
Now I need to decide what I'm gonna do for these bushes over here. You know what? This says apple orchard. Let's color this bush an apple orchard.
Are you okay, honey?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. I'm gonna pretend. I pretend like you're talking to me.
Tala is trying to get comfortable, but I've got my chair close to the desk, so she's like, "Mom, you're taking up my space. You need to move."
I was sleeping
Sorry.
there. Now move. Not my sleep space. My sleep space.
I'm sorry, honey, but you know, touching the desk really helps.
Ooh, y'all, after I get off this stream, you know what I'm gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Eat some fried rice.
I wish. I don't. You know what? I might order some from DoorDash. You know what? Let me get on this phone real quick.
Look at you planning ahead.
Wait, Danny, you right. I don't feel like cooking. You know me so well.
Right? Elijah made chili last night. He walked to the store. He was like, "Hey, Mom, can I go for a walk?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Go for a walk." And he goes to the store and he comes back and he's got like 4 grocery bags of stuff. And I was like, "Hey, if you needed a ride to the store, I could have totally taken you to the store." And he was like, "No, I just wanted to go for a walk." He goes into the kitchen and like 2 hours later, he's like, "Mom, I made dinner." And I was like, "What did you make?" And he's like, "I made chili." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool." So I go in and I'm getting ready to get a bowl of it. And this kid made like seafood chili. Like it's chili, but he added crab.
So, did he make gumbo?
No, because that's what I thought. Well, maybe this is gumbo, but no, it is legitimately chili, and then he added seafood with it. And I thought this is going to be really weird, and I took a bite, and I was like, "This is so good.
Delicious.
Yeah, I was like, and he's like, and because I'm worried about your arteries, I made it with turkey and not beef. And I was like, I love you, kid. I love this kid.
Your son is so thoughtful too.
I know, he really is. He's like so good this.
I had a ball when you guys came down and we were making all those truffles together.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was just like the best thing ever.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we had so much fun. I know. I'm like,
don't nobody want to hear about y'all having fun making truffles without me and stuff.
Okay.
My door's open. Cache, you come down whenever you want.
I know. We've got a plan.
We do. We got a plan for me to come up there and like
That's right.
do like a round robin and visit you.
It'll be the
Hey!
AuthorTube. It'll be the AuthorTube meetup session.
Yes, that's right. We'll get all of our AuthorTube people together. I hope you guys are posting your pics because
Yep, I just put them in my story, the ones that I've seen. So if you haven't, yeah, you see though, you saw that, didn't you, Laurel? I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, so if you haven't already, remember my name on Instagram and Twitter is 50SO Shay. I will look to see if anybody's done it on Twitter and I haven't seen it because I could have definitely missed it. Yeah, I was. Let me heart it and retweet it. There we go. All right, Tamara got 2 entries in there. Jocelyn got an entry.
I really want this lady to smile.
Right.
Can I make changes on here? Let me see. This isn't my art, so I don't know what I can do. Let's see.
Oh, it looks like Chelsea left us. Bye, Chelsea.
No, Chelsea! Oh, I can. Oh. Okay, this changes everything. Look. This girl here is too pretty to not smile. I'm sorry.
ooh, white chocolate orange creamsicle truffles. Oh,
I can make that.
I was gonna say, that sounds so good. I'm gonna have to send somebody to the store to get me some orange creamsicles.
Oh snap! Dana just tagged me in hers. Dang, where did oh, there's that crayon. Okay, so now I need to find a color that fills in with that crayon.
Now I want to go and look at all the pictures that you've been tagged in.
No worries. The pictures will be up tomorrow. So when you get them finished and you send me the pictures, you tag me in them. I'll put them on my Instagram tomorrow, and then the voting will be up for them.
Oh man, bummer.
Ooh, I like Tamara's. It's so pretty.
Right?
Oh, and we got that one's really cool too. Who is this one? I should be writing. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, this is gonna be a nail biter. A nail biter.
Who's gonna win?
Why are you so slow?
Is it Sunday?
Sunday.
Oh my gosh. Have you guys seen Have you guys seen the new Zombie Land?
No,
No,
I
I
haven't.
haven't.
Because the first one was hilarious.
They've got a Bigfoot truck in there, and they're in a situation, and the Bigfoot truck comes into play, and they're like, "Thank God for rednecks," and the chick goes, "Sunday, Sunday, Sunday." And I was just, oh man, oh, it was so funny. That just reminded me of it.
I can see.
I know. Because we all know what that reference means, and you hear Sunday, Sunday,
Sunday,
Sunday.
Sunday.
No, that those big old redneck mud trucking. What was it? You got the Bigfoot was one of them, and then there was like the the zombie truck or something like that. I mean, there was just it was iconic. It was amazing, and we all heard the battle cry of the mud loving rednecks.
I don't remember where I first heard the Sunday, Sunday thing. I just remember I was at somebody's house and like when I was younger, when I was visiting some relatives in America, and anytime a commercial would come on, be like da 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 Sunday, 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 and I was like, what is so big about Sunday at a church? Like I don't understand. Like that was
Maybe,
just
yeah. Now they hand out, so us '80s kids, we didn't have all the safety gear that these children these days have. Now they hand out noise canceling headsets. So it's like, wait, you're not getting the full revving experience,
oh
child.
my god.
My
I have
brother,
never been to a monster truck ride.
I've never been to one. I've seen them on television. But my brother took my nephew to one, and he posted a picture to Facebook, and my nephew was wearing these giant, you know, earmuffs, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And my brother's all, "Well, you can still feel the revving of the engine. You just can't hear it. You're not gonna go deaf." And I'm like, "Oh man, that's great. That's wonderful."
And that's great. That's wonderful.
I know. Well, I mean, they don't hand out noise canceling headsets at like concerts, do they?
Sometimes they give you earbuds that you can buy, but it really depends.
Mm,
I can't speak for all concerts.
yeah. I remember the first concert I ever went to was my stepdad took my mom and I to a Garth Brooks concert, and buying those tickets. I remember sitting in the car like all day with my mom while she went and bought these tickets at the Ticketmaster.
About to say, you must have been there all day.
Oh, it was terrible. And then we went to the concert, and we were like in the balcony, um, and I couldn't hear. Like, I think it was like an entire day where I couldn't hear, and there was just like this, like wah wah wah, and I was like, "This is insane." Um, so that's why I think that's why I've just been turned off to concerts. I do like my eardrums very much. Us '80s kids rode in the back of pickup trucks. Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
I miss drive-in movie
I'm
theaters.
forgetting about us '90s kids because I definitely rode in the back of pickup trucks too.
Yeah.
Like I might have been born in '90, but I still experienced a lot of these things. Like I still had to come in the house when the street lights came on and
Those
catch
were good
lights
times.
in the front yard and whatnot. I know what those times are like. I didn't have a cell phone when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, but that's because you were raised by like down to earth parents. No. Your parent had a good head on her shoulders, okay?
Yeah. Well, that and there weren't cell phones when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't get my cell phone. What is like? I think I got my first cell phone when I was 16, and it's because I paid for it myself. It was one of them little flip phones.
That's why I was 20. What, Elijah? I was 21 when Elijah was born. So I was.
See, so we probably got our first cell phones the same year.
Yeah, it was like 2001 and a half. And I got my first cell phone, like my first cell phone. And it flipped open and you couldn't take pictures on it. And it was basically, you had X amount of minutes every month. And if you went over those minutes, which I did one time and I didn't realize the amount of money I would spend for each additional minute. And it was like, oh, sorry guys, until I get a landline, we will not be doing long distance, hours long conversations. Bye. Well, because I moved out of state, and every time I would call my family, it would be like hours on the phone. It was a nightmare, but yeah.
Yeah, I think these are all feathers back here.
I got one more bush to color before we get ready to do outros and show what we got.
Yes, ma'am. I tagged you. I did what you told me to do.
The thing, like the things attached to the skull, the green.
Well, yeah. So what I usually do when I color stuff is I put like a neon background so I can find gaps. So for example, I can tell there's a gap here and one right here. Yeah, I think these are all just feathers. All right, I'm just gonna start coloring.
I do miss drive-in theaters as well. There's
Yeah,
one.
We have back home in my hometown.
Yeah, there's one in northern Arizona, and I told Mr. Mann, I was like, you know what? If I had the money to buy that thing, I would totally reopen it.
Oh yeah, no, drive-ins are good nostalgic thing, especially with the coronavirus right now. Like Heather was saying.
Oh, you'd make a killing if you had a drive-in theater right now, especially because that's the only way people could see the movies.
Right.
Let's all go to the snack bar. Oh wait, we can't really. Let's all go to the snack bar.
The one in our town, you buy your snacks when you buy your tickets.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could totally open the snack bar, and it could be like Sonic, where you like order at the pole, and then someone brings you your goodies.
My goodies. My goodies.
My goodies. Not my goodies.
My goodies. I'm an adult.
Someday.
But not today.
Not today, no.
I'm only adult on days that don't end.
You had me laughing. I can't remember what stream it was where you were talking about how we needed more adultier adult. And I was like, oh my god.
Yes, like sometimes you need an adultier adult, like for real, for real. Like, I'm not grown enough to handle this situation. I need someone who's been grown like a few more years than me.
I was having a great time with that.
You know, I tell people
and then when you realize you are...
You're ready to show people no, you're not ready.
No.
Get it together, Carol. Get it together.
I'm sorry. Let me do some quick things real quick. Quick. Doing the quick thing real quick.
Oh, y'all should go to a drive-in theater. That is crazy. Like, you know, Garth Brooks is from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he went to my college. Like, there's a sign at one of the houses. Garth Brooks lived here, and it's like a house that's always rented out. Apparently.
Well, yeah.
Surprised we are not.
Right.
I remember being in high school and watching him and Trisha Yearwood perform together, and I would tell my mom all the time, I'd be like, you know what? He is not doing any good by not getting rid of his wife that he has now and going with her. Because the whole world knew what was going on. I was like, man, how embarrassing. But
Right.
then I was like, that I don't know. I think that's when the older I got and I understood the world a little bit better, that's when I stopped listening to Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood, because I was like, this is not okay. And now they're
I have
married.
never listened to either. I have never listened to either. Okay, y'all. It's time. We don't got no more time.
All right.
Okay. All right. I'll go first.
Okay, you go first because I gotta finish this leaf.
So there's
Oh, look at
Franklin.
you.
It's a little bit more that I got to color, but not that much more. But yeah, there we go, y'all. That's mine for the day. All right, time for Caro's.
There we go.
Ooh, and she chocolate. You know we like them chocolate around here. Ah.
I really like the Wicker Man stuff, but I've never seen, somebody outside of like a pasty pale person like me do it. So that's why I was like, I want to change it up just a little tiny bit.
Yeah, the Wicker Man was. I just watched the original Wicker Man because it's on Netflix now, and boy, was it way creepier than the first one.
Yeah, there's a.
All right, Dana, you ready?
Is she still there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm trying
Okay.
to find. It says that Bear is Franklin's best friend, and I don't believe that. His best friend is that snail kid, and I just wanted to know his name.
But see, there's definitely a snail.
Yes. All right. So here is my picture. I love it. It's gonna end up going on the wall.
Ooh, I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's finished.
Oh, it's gonna be super bright. And yeah, because I used all the crayons in the box. Are we doing outros right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do mine. I can do it if you want.
No,
All
you
right.
don't have to like. Now we're doing them. Now that we went
Showed our
through
pictures?
and got all our coloring. Right.
Okay.
I just added mine to my story.
I forgot to actually push send on my story. I did that.
Yeah, I just got it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. It is time.
All right, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. No. Carol, you go first. It'll give me time to figure out this snail's name.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Kara Brown. I am an urban fantasy author. I have a channel here on YouTube where I talk about pretty much anything that pops into my head. Let's see. I recently did a video for WordStock with the focus on dialogue, and I focus mostly on dialogue grammar. So if that's something that you're interested in, that is up. I got books out. I got short stories out. That's pretty much me in a nutshell. I came here to color, and all I really did was get all the solid colors done. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this, and the next time Cache does her coloring therapy thing, I'm going to pull it back up and get more into the shading and the nitty-gritty details of this because it's a big one. That's me.
Awesome. It's your turn, Dana.
All right, I'm Dana Gollin, and I'm going to be forced to watch an episode of Franklin, which isn't a bad thing, in order to find out.
Everyone's saying that his name is Snail. Everyone's like, isn't Snail's name Snail?
Well, that's what I think it's saying that. I always thought his name was Shelly, and I'm like, a snail named Snail? Come on, guys, you can get better than that. Gosh. Anyway, I'm Dana Gollin, and you can find me sometimes on my channel starting in July more frequently at Dana Gollin Writes. You can also find me on my website, danagollinwrites.com, where soon there's going to be some good stuff posted, and everything's going to be wonderful. So,
everything is awesome.
That's right.
Yay. Awesome. All right, everybody, I'm Cache. This is my channel, and today we did some coloring. Thank you to everyone who did. Don't forget to tag me in your coloring so that I can have it in for tomorrow's coloring contest. The voting will be open from 1:30 p.m. Central Time tomorrow till 1:30 p.m. Central Time on Saturday. The winner will be announced in next week's stream. Next week we will be back to crocheting. So I got a blanket that I need to finish. We got Dana who's trying to, learn the granny square and get some more stuff. So definitely remember that. Also, this Thursday stream will be a Juneteenth panel. Please be ready for that. Bring your questions. We're going to talk about being Black and writers in there. It's not a Black Lives Matter stream. We are not trying to talk about that. We are trying to talk about what it means to be a Black writer and the different things that we deal with as far as that goes. So just remember that. Come with your questions. If you have questions about your characters or side characters or things like that, bring them on in, people. We got you covered. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Y'all have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye.